So the new Sony XV500 is a refined version of the Sony XP500 that has a more balanced sound to it, and it looks sleeker as well. And in general, if you're looking for a portable box speaker, then the Sony XV500 is a good option. However, we also have the Sony XG500, which is more portable and it's more durable. But when it comes to sound, these two speakers are very different from one another. Nonetheless, today we're going to compare these two speakers and we're going to see which one's right for you. Regarding pricing, the Sony XV500 has a retail price of $400, whereas the Sony XG500 has a retail price of $500. However, the XG500 routinely likes to go on sale, and so does the XV500. Nonetheless, if you're going to pick either of these two speakers up, they'll be linked down below, or you can always press on the YouTube shopping button. And if you want to further support the channel, pick up a Big Head approved hat, linked down below. We've got trucker hats and snapbacks. By buying a hat, you help the unbiased and unsponsored videos coming, and it also helps us cover more products and produce more versus videos. Thank you to everyone who's already bought a hat, and look out for more designs coming soon. And also, please remember to hit that like button and let's get subscribed. Now first, let's talk about the design of these speakers because they're very different from one another. Now both of these speakers are easy enough to take on the go with you because they're relatively compact, but the XV500 is larger and heavier, weighing in at 25 pounds, whereas the XG500 is significantly smaller and lighter because it weighs in at 12.5 pounds. The only thing that I don't like about the XG500's cylindrical design is that this speaker just loves to roll around in the trunk of your car when you're driving. But the XG500 is also a lot more durable than the XV500. The XG500 has a mostly fabric body that does a really good job of standing up to constant abuse from bumps and scrapes, and it's also IP66 rated, meaning that it's more water and dirt resistant than the XV500, which is IPX4 rated. And also the XV500 is a much larger scratch magnet than the XG500 because it has a mostly plastic body. So if durability and portability is very important to you, then you'll want to go with the XG500. But then there's the light feature on these speakers. Now the light feature on the XV500 is decent, but more importantly, it's a lot easier to see. It's actually worth using. Whereas the light feature on the XG500 is hidden in the passive radiator, so it's very difficult to see. So personally, I don't use the light feature on the XG500, and instead I just enjoy the additional battery life. Now when it comes to battery life, the XG500 has an advertised battery life of 30 hours, which is a lot. However, this advertised battery life of 30 hours is with this speaker playing at 38% volume, which is good for like ambiance, and that's with the light feature turned off, which personally I don't mind, and that's with the mega bass feature turned on, which is good. But real-world use with the XG500 playing at 80% volume and with the light feature turned off and with the mega bass feature turned on, then it's going to be good for around 8 to 9 hours of playback time, and at max volume is going to be good for around 5 hours of playback time. But then there's the XV500, which has an advertised battery life of 25 hours, but that's with the speaker playing at 36% volume, which again is good for like ambiance, but that's with the light feature turned off and the mega bass feature turned on. But real-world use with the speaker playing at 80% volume and with the light feature turned on and with the mega bass feature turned on, then it's going to be good for around 8 hours of playback time. So overall, battery life on these two speakers is fairly similar. However, when it comes to charging these two speakers, this is pretty different. Now with the XV500, it charges via an AC port, and finding this cable is relatively easy, whereas with the XG500, there is an external power brick that you do have to worry about. But regarding connectivity, both of these speakers can be connected to two devices at the same time, so you and a friend can both be DJ. Latency is not an issue for either of these two speakers, so you can use them to watch videos with on your phone. And when it comes to audio codecs, both of these speakers have support for SBC, AAC, and LDAC. Just keep in mind that if you do want to use LDAC, you do have to be an Android user because iPhones top out at AAC. And also, if you do decide to use LDAC, that is going to take an additional toll on the battery life. Now, when it comes to ports, both of these speakers still have a 3.5mm audio jack, so you can use them with a wired connection, and both of these speakers still have USB-A ports so that you can either plug in your own devices and charge them up, or you can plug in a USB stick and play music off of it. Now, with the XG500, it has 2 USB-A ports, whereas with the XV500, it only has 1 USB-A port. Now, personally, I think it's great and all that both of these speakers have USB-A ports, but the these USB-A ports are going to be better suited for international markets, and personally, I'm still waiting for box speakers to come with USB-C ports because most phones these days just come with a USB-C to USB-C charging cables. But then there are the quarter-inch inputs on these speakers. Now with both of these speakers, you can either plug in a microphone for karaoke or you can plug in a guitar. But the main difference here is that with the XV500, you can plug in 2 microphones for karaoke, whereas with the XG500, you can only plug in 1 microphone for karaoke. So if karaoke is very important to you, then personally I do recommend the XV500 because you can use it with 2 microphones. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about sound. Regarding speaker setups, the XG500 has dual front-mount-firing woofers, dual front-mount-firing tweeters, and dual passive radiators that shoot out the sides. Whereas the XV500 also has dual front-mount-firing woofers, except these are larger and it has an exhaust port that shoots out the front, and it also has dual front-mount-firing tweeters. But now we're going to jump into the sound test. Both of these speakers are playing at 75% volume, and they both have their mega bass feature turned on.
Wakes you up, the overplaying pattern of memory hides your true face. Take your own method, looking for the one who's trying to be perfect, yeah. You will try to match it, don't be sad if you don't make it up. You hope for wonders, living life means making blunders. It can make you shatter, you will try to fight the thunders. Trust me no matter what happens, because I will stay by your side in your heart. Whatever happens, remember that you can do anything you want. You can do anything you want. Follow the light if you're not sure. Listen to your gut. The right path will come when the time is right. Pick your own method, looking for the one who's trying to be perfect, yeah. You will try to match it, don't be sad if you don't make it up. You hope for one life, living life means making blunders. It can make you shatter, you will try to fight the thunder. Trust me no matter what happens, because I will stay by your side in your heart. Whatever happens, remember that you can do anything you want. You can do anything you want.
So when it comes to sound quality, these speakers sound very different from one another. The larger XV500 simply has a more balanced sound signature to it, but more importantly, it sounds a lot more open and there's a lot more definition in the highs and vocals. And there's also the fact that since the XV500 is able to move around more air, the speaker just has more bass to it. Whereas with the XG500, this speaker sounds a lot warmer, as in it puts in more of an emphasis is on the bass, and everything else just sounds a lot closer together. So plainly said, yes, the XV500 sounds a lot better than the XG500, and when it comes to overall performance, the XV500 also gets louder than the XG500. Now, the XG500 does a good job of keeping up with the XV500 when they're both running off of their internal batteries, but when the XV500 is plugged in, the XG500 just can't keep up anymore. Now, you also get a performance boost on the XG500 if you use it while it's plugged in, but the performance boost that you get with the XV500 is just larger. But finally, let's talk about pairing these speakers up with other speakers. Now, both of these speakers are using Sony's Party Connect, so you can connect either of these two speakers to any of Sony's larger speakers that are also using Party Connect, like either an XV900, an XV800, or to an XV500, or to an XP700, or to an XP500. But the really cool thing is that you can connect your larger box speakers to any of Sony's smaller speakers that are also using Party Connect, like an XG500, XG300, XE300, XE200, or to an XP43, XP33, or to an XP23. And you can either have up to 100 speakers wirelessly connected to one another, and you can get them all to play in sync. Or if you have two of the exact same speakers, you can get them to play in left and right stereo mode. But the really important thing here is Sony allows you to connect your larger box speakers to any of your smaller, more portable speakers. And this is something that other speaker pairing protocols don't let you do. And to connect all of your speakers together, you can do this through Sony's app. But the only thing that I do want to point out here is that personally, I have noticed that if you try to connect more than 4 speakers together, stuttering might be an issue. But if you're connecting 3 or less speakers together, stuttering is not an issue. But overall, Sony's speaker pairing protocol is very accommodating because it allows you to connect your larger box speakers to your smaller, more portable speakers. But with all that being said, if you're trying to choose between the XV500 and XG500, the XG500 is a really good portable and durable option. But personally, I would rather go with the XV500 because it genuinely sounds better because it sounds more balanced and more open. It also gets louder and it has more bass. Plus, you can use it with 2 microphones for karaoke. The main sacrifice that you make with the XV500 is its size and durability. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.